oath. Another day I watched the video. A Thai girl live in Turkey because she married with Turkish guy, and she talked about how hard worked with the house chore, cleanings, taking care of the guests who coming to the house, who visiting the house. And I asked her, what is the heavy cleaning job? Because I can imagine how heavy it's gonna be. And then later on, she explained me, but I still cannot see clearly image. And then other Thais comment too, like she's also wondering how heavy cleaning what is look like. Then I thought about it might be the culture. Anyway, I will to read this article because this is what I found and interesting. It's on Turkish travel blog. Anyway, started. My child lived membership of the Turkish Housewives Club. I guess it need to be lived like because it's supposed to be verb. Okay, when I married my Turkish Romeo, I never knew that I had gained automatic entry to the elite club of Turkish Housewives. This is a group of women who have the task of skilling born into them from birth. No problem is unsolvable and no text is too big. The pure existence and happiness of their families is all down to the elite Turkish housewives, who steer the ship through troubled times and provide shoulder to cry on during the hard times. These women have a marvelous ability to give birth to numerous children all in succession, while cooking 3 meals a day, working 7 days a week, and keeping the house so intensively cleaned that you can eat your dinner off the floor. They still also knit jumpers from scratch, grow their own fruit and veg, and manage the household budgets on a scale that puts my spendings to shame. Joining the Turkish Housewives Club, my new husband and I were both riding high on the additions of love when we got married. Neither of us had discussed the cultural differences. However, I had married into a Turkish family of which the mother-in-law, both sisters-in-law, and numerous aunties had all got founder membership to the elite club of Turkish housewives. The first indication that I was not performing to my role as an elite Turkish housewife was when the family came to stay for a holiday and bought cleaning products with them. After a long day at work, I walked back into the house to find gleaming clean windows, shiny laminate flooring, organized wardrobe, and I could see my face in the bathroom taps. Far from experiencing an invasion of privacy, this was a welcome relief as cleaning was not exactly at the top of my list of priorities in life. My membership was going to be terminated. Turkish people are not very adventurous in exploring the cuisines of other cultures. One of the first meals that I served my husband was an ambitious French recipe of king prawns in garlic and butter sauce. The recipe book gave instructions to cook and serve the prawns in their shells and place a finger bowl on the table. My husband's friends had also arrived at our house, and the two of them sat there ready with their forks pressed vertically upright, while I pressed my culinary delight in front of them. The look on their faces was the equivalent, as if had served two good hard-working Muslim boys a plate of pork chops. Needless to say, on my next visit to see the mother-in-law, I was dragged into the kitchens and shown how to make a variety of Turkish dishes that I didn't even know the name of. The only thought running through my head was that my mother-in-law was talking to a girl who thought the best chef was the cook at her local takeaway shop. I didn't know my membership had been terminated. One morning, I sat on the balcony with my first cup of coffee for the day. I started reflecting over the last 4 years of marriage and realized that I was not an elite Turkish housewife. The standards were too high and I would never be able to compete. I was desperate to speak to Happy for reassurance about my sudden realizations of my poor housekeeping skills. He simply looked at me and laughed. Apparently, I was 3.5 years too late. My husband and his family had figured out that I was not the perfect Turkish housewife in our first 6 months of marriage. So, life goes on. An overwhelming sense of calm washed over me as I had no longer had to keep up the pretense that I was interested in domestications. Over the 4 years of marriage, I had coined a new meaning to the phrase of being non-domesticated, and everyone had realized it apart from me. My Turkish family had long accepted the faults of this random English stranger that had abruptly entered their lives. I was the only one who had spent years trying to make out that she was domesticated when in truth Birdie was the complete opposite. So now I continue on my path trying to adapt to a life that had evolved to different cultures. At the same time, I accept that I will never be a good English or Turkish housewife. It is just not in my heart. To be domesticated, perhaps I could start my own club called the Elite Club of Non-Domesticated Turkish English Bloggers. It is interesting to know. Anyway, thank you for listening and I hope you come back to my channel again. Have a good day. Bye.